He figured out how to make it move through wires. He figured out the light bulb, all these different things. So what's the holdup, Edison? He's trying to figure out a way to charge you for it. So now he comes up with an electric meter. So now he can charge you. All right. So by the time this house is getting built, electricity's not quite there. So they use kind of the older technology. So this, what is this thing?
A windmill.
A windmill. So a mill is a word for something that grinds. But the term became used for different things other than grinding. So today, what's a windmill usually used for? For wind. That's where wind comes from, right? Electric power, used to produce power, right? This did not produce electricity. All it did was make that cable go up and down. And
I didn't know.
Underneath here was the well. So this is where their water came from a well underneath this tower. This would pump it under that funny looking cone-shaped building. And then the kitchen staff had to pump by hand every day, a couple hundred gallons up into the attic. So that would give it pressure. So they had their own water system here. And they don't have electricity, so think of all the things you use electricity for. So they had no electric lights, they had gas lights, and they used kerosene lamps. There's no microwave oven, there's no toasters even, right? They burn coal and wood to cook and to heat the house. Much harder, a lot of labor, people working hard, animals working hard. So today we have all these kind of modern conveniences we don't think about too much. Then you have information technology, right? When he's governor of New York, Theodore's living in this house, 1898, 1899. Someone wants to call the governor. Telephones are starting to happen. The nearest telephone was in the drugstore in Oyster Bay, 2.5 miles away. So the phone call comes in, says, yeah, we got a message for the governor. They'd write it down on a piece of paper. And the guy who ran the drugstore, his name was Snouter, he had a couple of kids.
Snouter.
Well, Snouter's kids had a great racket. Dad would give them the paper's message, and bicycles just became popular. And they come riding up here on bikes and give the message to the governor. He'd read it, he'd write down his answer, and then they'd ride all the way back into town and give the message in, and they'd make the phone call to answer the question. Not very efficient.
Not very fun.
Theodore Roosevelt doesn't want a telephone up here. He doesn't like cars. No cars allowed up here.
Why?
But when he becomes president in 1901, and he's coming up here in the summer and he's working, he finds that it's really getting to be a problem not having a telephone. And more people have telephones, right? If you're the only person with a telephone, what good is it? It's no good at all.
He's the president.
Well, now there's enough phones out there, it's worth it. So he gets a telephone. His phone number is 67. That's it.
67.
Not a lot of phones around. And when he's not president anymore, in 1910, he says, okay, we're getting rid of the telephone. We don't need it anymore. He says the children protested. So he got stuck with the telephone. So Theodore, he's a smart guy. He's very successful in politics. He writes over 30 books, but nobody's good at everything, right? He wasn't good with handling money, and he wasn't good at fixing stuff. He wasn't mechanical, right? So he's a rich guy, and at this point he's president. He's got guys that live over there in that stables that fix stuff, right? So this windmill gets stuck one day, and that means you're not getting water, right? So he gets concerned. What he probably should have done is gone over and said, hey, Noah, check out the windmill. It's not working.
Stopping.
Well, Theodore decided that he would take care of this. So he climbed up there, and he pulled on it, and it came loose, it spun around, and it sliced his head open.
Ew.
So now he's bleeding, and if your head gets cut, you bleed a lot because there's a lot of blood in your head. So you come down, you can't see, he's all bloody. And he comes up to the front door of the house, and Mrs. Roosevelt's there. He's got a bunch of friends. So they write this down. That's how we know all this stuff. The door opens, there's the president, all covered in blood. So they look at Mrs. Roosevelt like she's going to faint. And one of the guests says, Mrs. Roosevelt says in a distinctly bored tone of voice, now, Theodore, I wish you'd do your bleeding in the bathroom. You will ruin every rug in the house. And she made him come around the back here to the kitchen. She wouldn't let him in the house because he was bleeding too much. So, what does that tell you? That he bleeds all the time. He's always getting hurt, and she's used to it. She's not scared. You know, go to the kitchen. But really, he shouldn't have been climbing up here, right? He's got guys that work for him. So
it should have been them.
he's a little bit of a knucklehead sometimes, right? So not everybody is good at everything all the time. That's the message I'm trying to get through.
Did he die that way or no?
No, he actually died upstairs in the bed from a blood clot in the lung. Which today, you probably go to the hospital for a couple hours and they zap you with sonar or something, I don't know what, and then you're good. So the medicine wasn't very good back then. When he was a kid, his parents were told that he would never live to be an adult. He's going to die as a child. So I think that's one reason why Theodore Roosevelt was allowed to be so weird, is because he wasn't going to survive, and they let him do what he wanted. What he wanted to do was study birds, study nature. They started coming to Oyster Bay in the summer, partly because of his sickness, especially asthma. Any guys have asthma?
I do.
Right? And it gets worse if it's dusty or hot. So imagine New York City in the 1870s, in the horse manure and everything. So they started coming to Oyster Bay because it was more pleasant than being in New York City. And eventually, he kind of grew out of his asthma, and it wasn't a problem anymore. And he said he did this through outdoor exercise. That was what made him healthy. So that's one reason he's so excited about Scouts when it comes around. Is it's essentially outdoor exercise. So today we're just showing the first floor of this house because we were expecting a lot of people. We'll see if the weather clears. So we're going to go up there and take a look, and I'm going to ask you to be careful. I'll give you some rules when we get up there, okay? Any questions? Well, I'm looking for birds. Good. Today would be a good day for hawks. Yes?
We were a little bit late coming here.
Yeah. It's okay. You didn't miss much. Mostly you missed the bathroom.
But we were in there.
All right. We're going to head up this way. Try not to bleed all over.